First of all, I thought we'd take a look at fall enrollment. We've got an increase in enrollment on both campuses, both in headcount and also the full-time equivalents. We're going to do full-time equivalents, which of course is important to start to the way the funding is generated. The Magnolia campus has had, this is the fourth year in a row, we've had a really good freshman class. I hope that continues. And then I hope we can retain those students. So that's one of our primary objectives, is to try to retain them, keep them moving forward in the process, and it is beginning to show up in the total numbers. One thing that in particular that we noticed this year was the record number of students that are in housing, because we really had to scramble to get all the students located, but I think Dr. Allen viewed 3 to a room and so forth, try to get them all in. So it's been the first time in a while we've had everything completely full, from the village to all the residence halls, and that is really a good thing to have that. We're very, very pleased. But a total of 5,500 students for the system, I think, is very, very good. At the Meteorite Activity Center, of course, we're getting ready to have a dedication here shortly, and we hope you'll all come down for that. I think we'll have a great time, have some refreshments and a short program, and give you an opportunity to look and see what that facility is. I'll say, you'll hear in the presentation, this is a student-led project. They came to us wanting to do something like this, because small town America, they need things to do, and this is a great facility because it provides physical exertion and opportunities, meeting rooms, and when you add the track and the step climbers and the treadmills and the free weights and all of the basketball and volleyball activities, meeting rooms and so forth, refreshment areas, it's going to be a really, really nice facility. It's already being heavily used. We opened it up, and it's we just been flooded with students. At certain times of the day, it's just absolutely packed. So it's turning out to be very, very successful. We tried to maintain some of the Georgian flavor on it, and yet obviously you can see it's a very, very modern facility that is, I think, going to be a real blessing. It also replaced an area where we had not a lot of lighting and no parking. And we added 60 parking spots along with this facility, and really made I think, a tremendous difference in the accessibility to all of those areas down on that side of the campus. This is the way the inside looks. This is I think, one of the most attractive facilities I've seen. I have been to some universities that have facilities like this, but this is one of the most attractive ones that I've seen in terms of the color combinations and the design of it. I really appreciate, mentioned a little bit later, I really appreciate the student affairs that all student affairs directed by Dr. Allen, that worked so hard with Student and Government Association involving students in the planning for this. So we tried to incorporate what the students wanted. So this is a facility that the students asked for, that they wanted, and that they had an important part in planning for. And we really believe that it's going to make a tremendous difference. It is indeed a beautiful facility. In fact, it's not fully equipped like you will see here in just a few minutes. So you'll be, I think, even more amazed after you see it in the flesh here in a few minutes. The regional livestock facility is moving ahead. The building that you see, the big building right here, is what is under construction now. This one is not. It'll be this facility right here. Plus all of doing the groundwork, I think Colonel Lewis did the site, what we call the site work, for the competitor parking, which will be in the back, and the spectator parking that will be in the front. So the dirt work will be done, then we'll be up to us to try to find resources to get it paved and all of that sort of thing. This part right here is about a $2.5 million structure. It's going to be beautiful, huge. This will include all of the equipment inside that is going to be provided by Preaker. And we are very, very pleased with what's going to be done here. I think that this building here is going to be about a $500,000 building. Right now we're calling it the reception center, and that will be where you'll have the restrooms, meeting rooms, concession stands, generally for conferences that come in. I say conferences, horse shows, mule shows, whatever comes in. They want a boardroom so that they can meet in their offices, can meet and they can plan. They also have to have an office for whoever might be direct on the facility. So that will be part of a fundraising effort. I think this is going to be about a $500,000 project right here, so we'll be working on that as soon as we get a little bit further moving along. Looking at a construction horizon of about 9 months, although invariably, as you know, some of these things that we think are going to take 9 months take 12, so we don't know. But it'll be moving around. We've already ordered all the steel, and we've got that part is moving. We had a groundbreaking on August the 8th, and it's really growing. You see our chairman there, and rightly so. He's right there with Kate. That is his mule, by the way, of course. And he broke her plow in Mr. Frank's 11 days. Okay. And you can see the size of that mule. That's a real mule. You know, some people think donkeys are mules, and they just don't understand the process. But this is a real mule. You can see how tall she is. She is a beautiful, beautiful animal. Her name is Kate. And the stories we hear, Daryl and Jan's story, and they, of course, are the ones who are the benefactors on this process. And we were so pleased. And you can see here we've got a chain, and that's actually pulled a breaking plow. Some of you were there. And you saw how much dirt we moved just in a very short period of time. And so our forebears used mules and the breaking plows to make this part of the country sprout cotton and all kinds of different crops and corn and so forth. So it's kind of a blast of the past for us. And we wanted to be sure we could do this. And we hadn't had that 3 to 5 inches of rain that we got yesterday. So we were hoping that Kate was going to be able to pull that plow through that hard pan. And she did with great aplomb, I might say. So we're really appreciative of that and the effort. And Ms. Franks, thank you very much for on short notice coming up with a breaking plow and a mule and the whole shooting match and to the stories that we're certainly appreciative of that.
And Dr. Rankin, there were some of us after theirs that also would have come.
Okay,
well,
absolutely.
they turning plow water.
In 1916, my daddy was a student here. He plowed a mule daily named Kate on this farm. And I thought I ought to raise a mule named Kate. And what a great opportunity it was for me to get to plow Kate on this farm.
That was the one condition. He said, I've got to put my hand on that plow when we do this breaking. And he did, really did.
Didn't plow long.
Well, you paid your dues a little earlier, right? Okay. Here's what the rodeo arena looks like today. This is a shot from US 82. And you can see the picture really doesn't cover all of the dirt moving that's going on up there. If you've been watching it day by day, it's a massive effort to bring that little knoll down and make it exactly what we need for this facility to be. But it's going to be great location. The visibility is going to be incredible. I think it has tremendous potential, not only for the university, but also for the whole region. I think it could be one of our biggest tourist attractions because it'll be we can use this almost year round because it's going to be kind of open air. So most of the year we'll be able to use it. Here's the new agriculture center. We don't have this deal is not signed yet, but Colonel Lewis and his staff and Foots Levins and Rasco have been working very hard on this, David Sargent, and we're very close to having it where we're ready to sign on the dotted line and commit to beginning to do the site work. I think probably this fall it's more of a site work type of thing that will be done, and maybe construction on the actual building may not start until the first of the year. But you can see that it is going to be very, very attractive, similar in construction nature to the Science Center. And I'll let you look at what the floor plan here. Here's the first floor. You can see that on the left-hand side over here is a nice lecture hall, and then we have different classrooms and laboratories on the bottom floor, mechanical area back here. And some of these things we may have to add on, try to raise some money to add on some back. The agriculture folks would look to have a pavilion back there. Whether or not we'll be able to do that right now, I don't know. We will have a nice entryway that comes in front with the columns, and I think that will be nice. The second floor includes the offices up here that will be, I think, very nice, and then some laboratories, classrooms, and so forth. So it'll be a 2-story facility, and we believe it will really make a difference. Here's how it's going to look in relationship to the Science Center. Of course, the Science Center is huge. This is a $17 million building. This will be more likely a $6 million building. But it's going to give you an idea of the proportionality and the way that they'll look, and I think they will fit together very, very well. So we're certainly looking forward to that. We're getting very close to that, but not yet. Gentlemen, do we have ready to sign on the dotted line? But we're real close. I want to mention the Research Center. We had a group that came down, legislators that came down to visit us this past week on September 20th and 21st. It was kind of a combination SAU Magnolia, SAU Tech, legislative committee meetings with forestry and economic development and energy that came down and toured the Tech campus and Magnolia campus. And so we just designed, in the process, designed a new logo in about a day to cover that. They came down and had a presentation by Dr. McKay and then toured the Research Center. And this was after a day of being at SAU Tech, which Dr. Lampkin will mention here in just a minute or two, because I think it's very successful. Then we went out to the store to Arnett Steaks. So that was a nice wind up to the evening. And we're very appreciative of that. Uptown Center dedication, I won't say too much about this, but you can see some of the dignitaries there. We had Congressman, also Senator there, and others. This is a great interagency cooperative event. And Dr. Lampkin, I remember the day that he said, I want you to come up here and look at building. And so we went up and looked at a facility, and it was owned by Farmers Bank. And so a lot of people were involved in making this go, and a lot of different agencies were involved, and it is going to be a great economic development factor for Camden area. And Dr. Lampkin, I know in his report he's going to cover that as some of the different agencies involved. I do want to give you a little bit of a heads up that we're beginning to, you all have been to the graduation at SAU Tech, so you know that we don't have the facilities up there that we need, space to have really big, large crowds. It's really tough to have a graduation there. In the last couple of years we've had them in a church, which is fine, but even that was crowded. So we're looking at ways that we can enhance this building, add some space to it, add some space to the gym, and starting to do some initial planning at the present stage. We're kind of in that initial planning stage, putting some things on paper. So at some point, we'll probably be coming back to the Board of Trustees and saying we're going to want to do something there and figure out a financing package that will make that happen. So I think it's very much needed. This is right in the middle of the Tech campus. It would really enhance what we're doing there. So I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of a heads up there. The Modern Fire Station, again, the legislators toured this. Dr. Lampkin and his staff has done a wonderful job of pulling together financing from just about everywhere under the sun to get this done. As you know, it was hit hard by the tornado, and it looks like it's going to be rebuilt better than ever, much better than ever. And I think that this facility, the legislature has got to tour it. I could tell the all factor was pretty good. They were very, very impressed with that. And I think that we'll have dedication. Dr. Lampkin will schedule a dedication down the road. Again, it would be nice to say it to you on a certain date, but you just don't know when these things are going to get done. But it's a good company, and they'll do a good job for us. But it is going to be impressive. I have some dates I want to mention to you. We've got homecoming coming up on the 15th. Going to be a golf tournament for those of you who like to golf on the 14th. And then that night we'll have the SAU the Sports Hall of Fame, and we're in the process now of locating. Some of these folks are quite a ways off from Magnolia, and trying to get them back here for that evening. I think it's going to be a great evening. The next day, mule gating, got the Golden Mule Rider breakfast at 9 o'clock, and then we'll be facing SAU Arkansas Tech at 2:30. Pre-game events are 2. But an event that's really different from what we've done before is the dedication of Goodhart Field. The new baseball stadium is now complete, and we have the dedication plaques up for all those who join the Goodhart Society. We're going to have Steve Goodhart here. We'll have a nice dedication. This will be immediately after the ball game. So conserve a little energy from the football game, come on down to the baseball game, and then have the alumni game will follow that. And so it ought to make a really, really nice day, I think, for homecoming. Invite everybody back. Finally, we couldn't quit here without recognizing the fact we do have a new mule on campus, and her name Ron Harrell, who is standing there holding the altar, is the benefactor who, through the foundation, gave us this outstanding mule that Mr. Brother Frank's located for us. And they came rolling down here in the middle of the night bringing us a new mule, and she is quite attractive. I was amazed. A beautiful animal. So can you see there Mr. Franks and myself, Mr. Lewis Blanchard, and of course Megan May. You were on. So she was right there. We had a great time, and it was a very nice halftime event. So I think things are challenging in higher education. We have been to, Dr. Lampkin and I have been to the legislature on a number of occasions. We'll be back on a number of occasions. There are a lot of issues that are being asked about in higher education. We are working on performance funding. I will tell you this, it's a little bit challenging, a little bit scary in a way. But the way it's set up now, a portion of our funding from the state would be put into a performance funding pool, and then it would be awarded to particularly universities, colleges, universities, based on their performance, based on a formula that's now being worked out. And that is something, how do you determine performance in higher education? That's a good question. And that's a question, this formula that this committee is trying to work out. So that's coming up. It'll be a fairly significant issue this year, I think. But other than that, I think things are going well. Finances are good, and we're looking forward to a great year. Dr. Lampkin, glad to have you here today. Represent SAU Tech, and ask you to come forward.
Thank you, Dr. Rankin. Southern Arkansas University Tech team wishes to provide the Southern Arkansas University Board of Trustees the following update. I'm not going to bore you with our attendance numbers because I think Dr. Rankin did a real good job of covering those. In our head count this year, we do have 1,034 high school students and 1,120 undergraduate students for a total head count of 2,154 students. And we are proud to say both our head count as well as our full-time equivalents are up. We did, and I want to thank those of you who were able to attend the dedication of the Uptown Center on August the 24th, 2011. It was held at 237 Jackson Street in downtown Camden, and if we could schedule another dedication when we need rain, that's, you know, if we'd have planned that at 11 o'clock, it would have been a washout. So by being at 10 o'clock, we were able to cut that ribbon and get inside and just let it rain. It was well attended. In fact, I think attendance was exceptional. We were honored that United States Senator John Bozeman, United States Congressman Mike Ross, and a representative of United States Senator Mark Pryor's office were able to attend. The event marks a unique milestone in SAU Tech's history. Money-wise, it's the largest single partnership in the SAU Tech's history. The Arkansas Department of Workforce Services and its many partners occupy the first floor. ADWS services include the Career Readiness Certification, Job Services, Migrant and Seasonal Farm Workers, TANF, Trade Adjustment Act, Trade Readjustment Act, Unemployment Insurance, and Veterans. The first floor also houses the Arkansas Rehabilitation Services, Division of Blind Services, Job Corps, Southwest Planning and Development District. Southwest Planning and Development District services include Title IV older workers and the WIA for Title I adults, dislocated workers, and Title I youth. All those services are available on the first floor. SAU Tech Career Pathways Initiative, Washita Calhoun County Adult Education, Washita Calhoun County Literacy Council, secondary and community educational services, including community services, supplemental services, and 21st century, occupy the lower level. We believe we're getting the maximum community benefit out of the Uptown Center, and we were very blessed. We purchased, Dr. Rankin indicated, we purchased the building for $360,000. $370,000, and I want to say that Gabe Manning probably has lost several years off of her life since I became chancellor at SAU Tech, because we have done some things that she's probably never been asked to do before. And one of them was to go to North Little Rock, Arkansas, meet with an architect, and then go over to Little Rock and meet with DWS. I think that deal was cut about 10 minutes ago. But we purchased the building for $370,000. We used approximately $676,000 of American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, or ARA money, along with approximately $900,000 provided by the Arkansas Department of Workforce Services. This $1,946,000 project is fully funded and debt-free. Whoops, sorry about that. I want to take a second to talk about the smarter sentencing luncheon that some of you were able to attend. We hosted a briefing for the newly implemented Smarter Sentencing Program on August 24th at noon. This law took effect on July the 1st and gives the judge the option of sentencing a first-time nonviolent felon to adult education to complete their GED instead of going to prison. As of today, our adult education employees are still working to develop and implement smarter sentencing. This is one of those things we are in the transformation from adult education being all voluntary to it being a combination of mandatory as well as continuing to serve in the voluntary portion of that. We had an exciting dedication here around September the 1st of the SAU Tech Welding Academy, which some of you were able to attend at the Magnolia Business and Industry Training Building. Ribbon cutting was well attended, and the academy will accommodate 15 students, and we have 15 students in the first class. And this welding academy is hopefully the equivalent of the Tulsa Welding School, and that's what we're going at for that kind of quality. And we had a wonderful ribbon cutting, and we appreciate all those who attended. The model fire station that Dr. Rankin touched on, the scheduled completion date is now October the 21st, and I will say that scheduled completion date is a moving target after dealing with the Uptown Center, which its completion date was moved. But I think when we do get the building, we will be very proud of the model fire station. This $2.279 million building was made possible by combining General Improvement Fund money from Governor Mike Beebe and Senator Gene Jeffers, the Brown Foundation, insurance proceeds from the classroom building and apparatus bay building, timber sales, FEMA, and AFTA reserves. Once again, Gabe was asked to pull together many pots of money, and we're very proud of this project. We look forward to the completion of this building so that we can return to a more normal scheduling of classes. Right now, the Fire Academy has classes on the Tech campus, so that will free up those classrooms that are now dedicated to the Fire Academy, which we, with our increase in enrollment, are being challenged to try to figure out where to put people, but this building will give us some much needed relief. A and B dorm roof. The roof on A and B dorm has been replaced at a cost of $56,419. This project results in all on-campus buildings having a new roof, except the manufacturing building, and we will continue to look for money to refurbish the dorms so that they can be used for either student housing or classrooms in the future. Our AQUIP update, SAU Tech's been notified that our systems portfolio has been accepted and reviewed by the Higher Learning Commission of North Central Association, and that their next visit will be in 2014-2015. I wish to congratulate the entire campus for the very hard work in this process, and in particular, Dr. Diane Betts, who leads our AQUIP effort at Tech. Panel update, we continue to 2010, 2011, we had 776. This resulted in Pell awards to our students increasing from $1,041,679 in 2007, 2008 to $2,780,129 in 2010, 2011. As you know, Pell money is grant money, and the student does not have to pay it back. Therefore, we do not have to collect in the future. Our recycling update: last year, SAU Tech received a grant from the Coca-Cola Foundation for campus recycling. SAU Tech Foundation did a matching grant, and I'm pleased to report that we recently made our first sale of aluminum cans and received $158 for them. Funds generated by the recycling program will be used to purchase and replenish supplies for the project. Magnolia Columbia County Adult Education. SAU Tech assumed operational control of the Magnolia Columbia County Adult Education Program on July 1st. SAU Tech now operates the adult education programs in Calhoun, Columbia, and Ouachita counties. We consider these operations to be vital to our Cradle to Grave literacy program. Dr. Rankin touched on the annual legislative committee's visits to at Tech. They visit Arkansas Environmental Training Academy and Arkansas Fire Training Academy. They visit the Environmental Academy on this year. It occurred on Tuesday. They then traveled to Line Oil at El Dorado, then came over to see the Natural Resources Center, then out to Mr. Story's, then back to Camden, and then the next morning they started at 8 o'clock at the Ross Center. They got a briefing on the Fire Academy. Then they got to go out and tour the Fire Academy, come back to the Ross Center for lunch. So it is one of those tours that you do not want to blink because you're constantly moving on. And it's a very wonderful opportunity for the system to showcase the various things that we do, especially the academies and especially the Natural Resources Center. The annual visit by the legislative committees did occur this past Tuesday and Wednesday, both the Environmental and Arkansas Fire Training Academy, We appreciate Mr. Scott Sullivan for making this annual tour possible. It provides us with a chance to showcase these very important divisions. Our AET lab, we received $75,000 in GIF money to construct a $400,000 environmental lab. We're currently applying for funding from various sources for the laboratory and $177,000 for equipment. We hope to have this project funded and completed in the next 2 years. Automotive paint and body shop. During the last legislative session, we received $70,000 in GIF money for the construction of a $400,000 automotive paint and body shop. We plan on seeking additional money needed for the project from various sources over the next year. Last night I received a phone call from Representative Gary Smith, who asked me to let this crowd know that on September 27th at 6:30 p.m. in Fordyce, they are going to have a forum on lignite. So I wanted to bring that to your attention, and that forum will be next Tuesday evening at 6:30 p.m. in Fordyce. With that, if there are no questions,